Hey beautiful, my name's Tiffany and today we're talking about overwhelm and how we can recognize overwhelm and how we can alleviate it when we recognize that it's happening to us. So we all suffer from overwhelm at times, whether that's in our life or our business, or it could be in something else. And I cannot wait to share some magical tips and tricks with you. So first off, my name's Tiffany. I'm a mindset and life coach for women that may be stuck in their past and unable to break through that and step into their present moment and propel into their future. So that can happen to a lot of us at times. We get stuck in that past rut and we're unable to see what's right in front of us. So I work with women in recognizing this and then guiding them out of that, which is really, really magical. Now, let's talk about what we're meant to be talking about, and that's overwhelm. So if I'm looking over here, it's just I've got a few notes here just so I don't veer off track. Now, overwhelm. Have you found yourself in your business thinking, okay, I'm at the start of my building of my business and I need to launch a website. I want to have a podcast. I want to have a like page. I want paid advertising. How do I get a host for my website? And we get all of these things going on in our minds and all of a sudden we're overwhelmed and we're researching about websites, and then we're researching about podcasts and landing pages and all of these things, and all of a sudden we've forgotten step 1, 2 and 3 because we're overwhelmed. So when you recognize you're in this space, take a big deep breath, recognize that you've got there, and what can you do to get out of there? Because when we get in a sense of overwhelm, not only in our life and business, we either get too overwhelmed and we go, stuff, this is too hard, I'm out of here, or we just give up altogether, or we get really, really stressed out and we forget to have joy in the moment of this beautiful building stage, which it can be beautiful if we make it easy and beautiful, which at times can be hard. So I'm sharing this with you all because I've gone through the overwhelm plenty of times. I've overcomplicated things in the start of my business. I've recognized that and I've got steps in place to fix that. And I've also had a beautiful discussion yesterday with a friend. So this is what leads us to this conversation today. Okay, so you're at that stage of overwhelm. What do? Now it depends on what part you're in your business at the moment, and part's the wrong word, but it depends on what stage you're in. If you're in the building stage and then you're thinking about podcasts and this and that and the other, structure it back. Write your list. What do you need right now? And on that list, also write what you need, but it can wait till later. So whether that's podcasts later or YouTube channels later, there's things that you can do later. What needs to be done right now to set up that foundation in your business? Now, this will stop the overwhelm. And now what I mean by the first step in setting up the foundation of your business is choose one thing at a time. Focus that energy on one thing at a time. Okay, if it's you haven't got your website yet, okay, website number 1 at the top of my list. What website do I want? So if you haven't decided on a website, whether you want a website builder like Weebly or Wix, go and do your research. Look on YouTube, research different people. If there's someone that you really, really like and you watch on YouTube that, goes into websites and things like that, and she does recommendations or he does recommendations, go and check them out and do your research. Once you found your website, then start on that. If that's the top of your list, do that. So do one task at a time. Okay, and just go down your list. So whether you've got 3 things, that's fantastic. Start off with 3 things and then tick them off as you go. You will then realise that overwhelmed feeling is soon dying down because you've got that sense of security, because you've got that list. This is not my list, but just pretend. You've got that list in front of you. You know what you need to do. Your mind has seen it. You've got that reassurance knowing, okay, I know where I'm going. I just got to tick it off one by one. And then you can look at the things that need to be done after and just do it bit by bit, because a business, you don't want overwhelm in your business. You don't want to have, let's say, quickly I've got to get a YouTube podcast, like page, all these different things up and running, but then you haven't even got a program or something to sell anyway. So that's a whole nother story that we can talk about in our business. But first you need to get the foundation down. If you've already got a product or a program or something to sell, that's fantastic. You can get that on your website. So we're just talking about alleviating that stress in the first place. Because I tell you what, I've done it before. You want to be a perfection artist. You want all these things up and ready in 1 second. It's not going to happen. Rome wasn't built in a day. So let's strip it back. So something I want to share to you is our mind is not conditioned by our thoughts. Our mind is not just conditioned by our thoughts, it's our actions too. So, with all this overwhelm, it's a lot to do with our thoughts, but then again, it's a lot to do with our actions too. So if you've had overwhelmed in the past and you've had it again and again and again, your brain is going to preferably go back to that overwhelm before it goes back to making a list. Why? Because you've done it before, and your brain says, wow, Tiffany's done this overwhelm thing before, let's do it again because my brain knows how to do that easier. So you're putting up a new step in place. So you need to go back to this 1, 2, 3 step again and again and again. So your brain goes, wow, not being overwhelmed is easy, because we make lists and we tick off our list. So I hope that makes sense to you. So remember, it's your brain. Our brain is so powerful. So we need to really condition it with all these new easy non-overwhelmed steps. Sorry about this. This is a one-take video for me. I'm not editing things out. We're just going with the flow. So I hope that really helped. So remember, strip it back. What can I do not to be overwhelmed? Go back to your list. Go back to basics. A lot of you may have already heard this before, and that's fine. Sometimes we need to hear it again and again before we go, okay, this makes sense. So really, I kind of covered more today about overwhelm in our business. However, I can cover overwhelm in your life and all these other areas. However, they all come down to the same thing. You've got to recognize, one, what's overwhelming you, and then putting steps in place so it's no longer an overwhelm. So it starts with recognition, then it starts with your steps. And then you continue on with your steps so then you don't get overwhelmed. You just don't do the steps once. You've got to keep continuing doing it. So your brain goes, wow, this is easy. I've got to keep doing this, okay? So recognize the overwhelm, put your steps in place, and you're ready to go. And you know what? We all know what to do. We just got to trust your inner gut feeling and ourselves, and you can do it. So I hope this video has helped today. And I don't think I have got any more on my notes here that I need to go through and cover with you. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments how you're going. And lots of love to you all. If you don't already know, I'm launching a 30-day Habits to Harmony challenge coming up in my Facebook private group. So if you are interested, please let me know. If you have a look through my videos, you'll see the video explaining about that challenge, and I look forward to seeing you all there. Lots of love. Bye, guys.